in true Alexa and Isaac fashion, we didn't do things the traditional way. We just decided that we wanted to get married because I think I even said this on the day, it was like, I just knew, like I never really wanted to get married before. And even when we met, I was like, I just want to have babies. Like, we'll worry about marriage later. I wasn't like concerned about it at all. But then I think, you know, obviously with you moving here and the way that our relationship is, I just always knew that we would. And then when I have, you know, the last 3 years I haven't fallen pregnant, I was like, I think we need to get married. I think it's why baby's not going to come until we get married for whatever reason. But I think, again, as what I said before, making that commitment and like making those vows to each other and that like really solidifying your union, there's something to that where I just think that baby wanted that. Our babies want that before they come in.
You're listening to Natural AF, the podcast exposing suppressed truths about health, reality, and human potential. I'm your host, Isaac. I'm the founder of Natural Art Form, and I'm joined by my Australian co-host and partner, Alexa, a Site K facilitator and human design coach. If you're ready to challenge the status quo and explore how the world really works while staying grounded in your deepest purpose, then you're in the right place. Thanks for joining us. Let's get Natural AF. Welcome back, everybody. It's been a little while. We took the last week off, and if you were on our Substack, like you should be, signed up on there to get every little up-to-the-minute detail, we were getting married and have completed that.
There's our rings. Oh, my God, you're right. Safety Scott wouldn't like this.
Yeah. This is a great... we're so excited to share that with y'all. A lot of our listeners are also followers on our Instagram and follow us individually, but we had a lot of support and love and well wishes and congrats coming our way, and we just feel the love.
Yeah. Do we look different? Do we look different now that we're married? I mean, Isaac's been married before, so it doesn't really affect him as much.
Yeah, I probably look the same. Maybe a little more domesticated, less wild.
Well, it's funny because a few people have asked us that. Like, do you feel different? And I do, but it's very subtle. And I've got to say, like, after the wedding, like, it was such a beautiful day. And the weather, that
was cool. But before we get into that, like, I feel closer to your family after that.
Yeah.
Especially being roasted by your dad in his speech.
Yeah. Oh, the speeches were so good. And I feel like I'm going to cry. I cried most of the day, guys. Like, I cried.
She's been crying for like a week straight.
No, not afterwards. Oh, actually a little bit afterwards. But afterwards, I was just sad that it was over so quickly. Like, the day goes like that. So many people that get married say that, and I totally forgot about it. It goes so quickly, especially when there's such a big lead up, and we had it on our property. So there was a lot of work that went into like preparing the property and like just getting all the other things ready before a wedding. And, there was so much work that went into it. And then the day just flew by. Yeah. And the next few days after, I was just so sad. And like, we had, friends from all over really. We had, just a handful of family up from Sydney because we're going to do a whole separate Sydney wedding reception because all my family's down there. But, we had friends from Queensland all the way up from Sunny Coast to Gold Coast to Brisbane.
Melbourne.
People up from Melbourne. And so having everyone there, it was so nice. And then I think when everyone left too, I was just like, oh, I'm so sad. But yeah, it was a bit of a roller coaster of emotions. But yeah, definitely like there was so much love that day. Like that's what was so beautiful. And everyone said it. So many people said that it was like the most beautiful wedding they've ever been to, and that it was just such a day filled with so much love. And it was like not just between us, but like everyone that we had there. I really feel like I'm going to cry again.
Yeah.
Just all of our friends. And it was because it was very small. We had only had about 40 guests, and it was very intimate, and it was really our nearest and dearest friends. And it was so beautiful, and all of the help that we had beforehand from a lot of our friends as well. It was, amazing.
Yeah. Yeah. It really kind of reflects how our life has been since coming here, being almost like immediately adopted into the family. Yeah. It just felt like a really nice, like bow on the end of it. Like everything that we've been through with you and your family and helping out here on the property. And then I just feel super welcomed and loved and appreciated. And yeah, it's really cool.
Yeah. And even because you said that and with the speeches and everything, but even for me, I felt like, you know that your parents love you, like, your family love you, but you don't often express to them, like, especially as you get older, you don't often express to each other, like, the things that you do love and admire about each other. And I can't help it. I'm crying.
Yeah.
It was so nice to have, like, to hear the things that my parents said, even just about me. Yeah, it was really, really nice. And I guess that same sentiment that it feels like it's brought us all closer.
Yeah. Probably means a lot more to you because you really thrive with appreciation and like expressing your value to others. So.
Yeah. Yeah. My love language has changed from receiving gifts to words of affirmation. Yeah. Words of affirmation was always up there, but it has changed over the years. So yeah, 100%. That's so important for me.
Yeah. Well, it's a special time, and I missed having my family there, but we're going to do kind of like with your family in Sydney. We'll do a reception in Sydney, and then once we make our way back over to the States, we'll do a nice reception in Wyoming, and it's going to be stunning. It's cool.
We're going to do a country style.
Yeah, we've got some our friends and neighbors over there built this beautiful wedding venue, and kind of makes you want to get married all over again, like have the whole, because it's set up for like the groomsmen and the bridal party. They have like separate like preparation areas for them, complete with, I think, like video golf for the men and a bar.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah, that place is like, I thought.
They built this massive barn, and it's like.
Yeah, I thought when your mum first told
wedding.
us about it, I thought it was going to be this like little country barn, like really sweet, like, you know, just like you're getting married next door. It's like a full on, like.
It's massive. And I'm a fan of like timber architecture, and
it's incredible. Like
they're really good with building with wood and stuff. So it's stunning.
Yeah, it looks amazing. Like the photos, like it looks so perfect. I actually said they look like AI photos, but they're not, because it's built. Like it's incredible.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was such a beautiful day. And well, the weather, you want to talk about the weather, because it's another story that we have about being able to manipulate the weather for good.
Yeah, we've been doing this for a while, but we don't often like have a lot of us coming out there with the same intention, speaking it out loud, or, you know, we have friends that are a bit more, I don't know, like connected to different elements that I can't see or feel or whatever, at least maybe not in the same way. But so your mother and I, before the wedding, I think she was still in her bathrobe. Was it after she had her makeup done? I think she was kind of like ready to go. And
like the morning of.
Or was it before the makeup? I can't remember. But she was in her robe, and we're kind of like walking around. And we were both down by the dam. I had this little moment together where we both were, there was a big chemtrail, first of all, above the clouds. A big fat one going all over. And we were both out there doing what I did in that video. I don't know if I shared it here, but about speaking our non-consent to it and commanding it to disperse. And the chemtrail, you know, by the time the wedding started, was nowhere to be found. It's completely gone. And yeah, just there was a little bit of like nervousness because there was literally a giant black cloud that was thundering, and the storm seemed to be moving our way. While
I was getting ready, someone was like, how long are you going to be? Because, like, can you hear the thunder? And, like, I heard it a couple of times, but I wasn't worried about it because you could hear, it wasn't coming towards us. You could just kind of hear it sort of, you know, it was far away. And then our neighbor actually looked up the weather, what do they call it? Like the map.
The radar.
Yeah. And she was like, nope, it's moving from east to west. We're going to be fine. But we had put like leading up to it, the weeks leading up, because everyone was like, do you have a wet weather plan? And what are you going to do if it rains? And there was no doubt in my mind. I was just like, it's not going to rain. And because when we were like planning, like when we really started getting into the work on the land, the weather was perfect. Like every day was sunny and dry and beautiful. But yeah, we couldn't really see, like, as for the weather forecast, which we don't pay too much attention to be honest, like, because we know that the power of just intention and like we have the power to manipulate the world around us, and that includes the weather. So, but we were looking just to see whether we needed a serious wet weather plan, and it rained pretty much like the week before, like almost every day. And then we'd get a dry day and it would rain again for, you know, days on end. And we just knew, like, I just kept saying the weather's going to be perfect on the day. It's going to be great, you know. And then we saw that there was a chance of rain, but I was like, I don't care if it sprinkles. I don't care if it's overcast, because it's actually better for photos. So our photographer was like, if it's overcast, great. I was like, as long as it doesn't pour down. And it didn't. We got a few little sprinklings of rain throughout the day, which was actually really beautiful because during the ceremony, I remember at one point just seeing the little droplets of water on the water on the lagoon. It was just really, it was a really magical day, which is we had an astrology reading, couples reading before, a few weeks before. And that's kind of what the overall vibe was. She was like, it's going to be a really magical day, and it was really beautiful, and and it held out, and I just kept visualizing, like leading up, I just kept visualizing like beautiful weather, it being dry. It was a little bit touch and go, and what proved to me that we did affect it was the next day it poured down. Remember, it was quite torrential for throughout the evening, and I was just like, thank you God, thank you universe, because had this happened yesterday, it wouldn't have been good.
Yeah, that was amazing. And we had your mom's best friend from Sydney came up, and I think, did we share her audio on this show one time, or her feedback from an episode? Story?
We were going to, I think, but we just didn't end up doing it.
She always has something very interesting to share, some insight. But she was like, telling me like, I've talked to the elementals, and it gave me this like wink. It's like, we're going to be fine. Yeah. There was so much intention that went into it. That's why I just wasn't worried at all. Yeah. So there's a few interesting steps. So if you want to do this at home, the next time you have a big event coming up, if you see chemtrails, you can send them away. Mm-hmm. We've talked about that before. But our friend Chris, she has a way that she does things, and it's very reciprocal and fair. But like, if you ask for something, you need to give something. And so after the wedding, I had this little pink crystal that was actually from your brother's wedding. Mm-hmm. And it was on these little bottles of rakia, which is, it's interesting that it's on a bottle of spirits, but the crystal themselves, we all know, like crystals hold some kind of information or memory. Around weddings, there's a lot of intention and energy and everything else. So I think those crystals are pretty special. They're very charged up with love. Yeah, I just said a thank you and a prayer for that after the wedding. Was it the next day or? Yeah. And I just tossed it into the water. Said thank you, and then later on that day we just had this big downpour of rain and all that. So.
Yeah, and very interesting. We didn't plan it this way at all. Which again, so Isaac wanted to do, like you wanted to do an astrology reading before we even picked a date to help us pick a date. Mm-hmm. And I was like, no. I was like, babe, don't worry about it. I know. Like, and it's funny when I had a psychic reading with Rachel Vaughan. She said your timing is impeccable. Like you always have impeccable timing, and that's very true for me. Just with big life things.
Yeah, and, just like your instinct, like when you just pick a date or do something. Yeah,
and that's what I said to you. I was like, no, I just trust that we're going to pick the right date. And we kind of sat on it for a while because the original couple of dates we wanted, we couldn't do. And then when we couldn't do them, we kind of didn't make a decision for a while. And then I was just like looking through dates and days, and it was funny because every date we wanted happened to fall on a Sunday, which is the day we got married. And I just chose the 22nd. I was like 22, I like it, March, I think I can't remember. I did, worked out the numerology and everything. And then afterwards we looked at the astrology. It was great. And then after the wedding, we saw a post by Rachel Vaughan talking about the equinox, 21st and 22nd, the dates of the equinox. And she was talking about in her post, like putting like good intentions out on that day is particularly important. And I was like, what a perfect day. Like there was so much love that day. Again, not just between us, but everyone that was there. And it was really, really beautiful and just couldn't have been more perfect in terms of the timing of it.
Yeah, the date was very important, and not to us, but maybe to like the energy and the timing of things, especially if you follow Rachel Vaughan. If you're new to this show, go check out her interview that we did. Is very interesting. And I'll put it in this kind of context. If you are new to this, you don't know who Rachel Vaughan is. She was raised in one of these, the families that probably made someone like Epstein, right?
Yeah, it's like a bloodline free Masonic family, basically.
Like, probably goes back ancient, doing these satanic rituals and all this stuff. To them and their evil practices, their dark practices, they like to invert everything, and they do insanely wicked acts on specific dates, like the equinoxes and different things, to put evil in the world and continue their control. Mm-hmm. And Rachel has survived that, and not only that, but she's grown, is turning the powers over, like flipping it by teaching people how to work with these energies, dates, and the ley lines and the energy, all this stuff.
Yeah.
If you know anything about Cal Washington, he talks sometimes about speaking over the water.
Which I think we spoke to him about that when we had him on also.
I'm pretty sure we mentioned it. Yeah, because we told your mom's story about how she spoke over the dam or the lagoon down there. before she had a court appearance. So it just felt very fitting, very like just where we were at, right over the dam, speaking our vows to each other before friends and family over the water on this day, putting all this love and intention into it. And not just us, but everyone that was there. It was like, in small ways, it's like there's some people that we know that we're friends with that aren't like, they're not going to go make a YouTube channel. They're not going to go, but they're very special. I think in their own ways, they're very powerful. Like we all are, but these people have very unique gifts that they were just born with. They're more sensitive and in tune with stuff. And I just feel like, yeah, I don't know. It was all about the wedding and all about us getting married. But at the same time, it was just like this gathering of like, it's very switched on, very powerful souls.
Yeah, totally. And actually just circling back to like, you know, when people ask us like, do you feel different? You just mentioned our vows. And I think that's what's made a difference for me. I feel like and I said this afterwards, I was like, I feel like all couples should do, like, you know, whether or not you want to get married, you know, some couples don't feel, you know, they don't want to get married and that's fine, but they choose to be together. The power of actually like making vows to each other and speaking them to each other, I feel that's where I feel different. It's when you actually say those things to each other, I feel more held accountable to that now. You know, especially because we did it in front of all of our, you know, our closest friends. And like, there is something very meaningful about that. And like, to me, I feel like, as I said to you, I was like in the week after, like, obviously we're still a normal couple. We still like bicker and whatever. But I found like, even when we have our little snaps at each other or little bickers, like we're even quicker to like be a lot nicer to each other. And obviously we're in a bit of a love bubble because, you know, how could you not be after you get married? But yeah, that for me is what feels the most different, because even now it's funny, like going to the markets this last weekend, because obviously we had the whole weekend off the weekend we got married, and then going to the market again for the first time, that felt a little bit where I was just like, oh, I'm back to reality. I'm back out in the world with you. And I said once at one point throughout the day, because I'm still getting used to calling him my husband, like, people that got married, can people like let me know, like, is this normal to like, is it weird to have to get into like used to calling your, you know, I used to always call you my partner, to then calling them your husband or your wife? Like, how long do I need to like get in that groove? Because it feels very foreign. Anyway, we were out and I just, you know, was like, at one point I was like, where's my husband? And I just instantly was like, that sounds so fucking weird. Like, so I'm still getting used to that, but I definitely feel like there's, a different kind of closeness. And it to me, it's like that vows, like you've made those vows, you've made these promises to each other. And, you know, I want to be held accountable to them and stay committed to them. I think it's the commitment for me. It's like, is staying committed to that. I think that's very, very powerful. And it's definitely feels like it's shifted something in me.
That's good to know. Good to hear.
Doesn't sound like it's reciprocated over there.
No, it does give it this sense of permanence and like, it just felt like a lot of things coming in, like landing. There was some stuff up in the air, not with our relationship, but like, just with you coming into my family and me will be part of yours as well. It just felt like that's like cemented in now. It's like it's written in stone, and it just feels good. Everybody likes a sense of security.
Yeah, it's definitely that sense of permanence, which used to kind of scare me. Though I think it was part of the reason I didn't want to ever get married, was because I knew what a big commitment it was. My parents are still together; they've been together over 30 years now, and that used to scare me. And it is a big commitment, but I think, you know, I said this in my speech that like the decision to marry you was one of the easiest decisions I've ever had to make in my life. And I always felt like the decision to get married would be really hard. But I think it is very largely dependent on who you decide to marry and the relationship that you two have. So
yeah, I had a lot of contemplation from myself, my own situation, because on the surface level, if you know my story, I've been married a few times in the past and to varying degrees of trouble and whatnot. So like, what would make you want to get married again? I feel like there's maybe some guys out there, especially, that would ask that. Like, why even bother? Why do that? I've had people ask me that specifically before I moved over here. And through this whole process, through meeting Alexa and especially getting involved with the people, I mean, people we've had on the show, we've talked about it, but doing this soul work And I don't want to become like the Rob Schneider character in Grown Ups. Remember that with Adam Sandler and
Vaguely. I've only seen it once.
The King of Queens guy, whatever. But there's Rob Schneider. He's like super serious. He looks like he would fit in like Mullumbimby or Byron Bay or something. Like he's just always like very spiritual and very serious, and like everyone makes fun of him because he's just too serious, too intense all the time.
Yeah.
Everything's a spiritual thing. Everything's a fucking ceremony.
I can't believe I can't really remember that character.
Anyways, for those that have seen it, you know what I'm talking about. So I'm not going to get like that. But in a relationship, I found is just the most profound way or situation that you do the work in, because you kind of have to. Your partner is going to bring up things in you that might be hard to face. They'll see all your blind spots. Like you open yourself up to that when you're with the same person for a while, and you're energetically, emotionally connected, spiritually connected, and it's vulnerable. And for men, that's a very uncomfortable position to be in for some guys, especially if you've basically been conditioned by society to like not be emotional, to not feel it, basically just repress all these things and only be assertive, only be aggressive, only be masculine, and not ever like recognizing there is a softer part of you that actually helps you connect with your wife that they tend to really enjoy, as long as you're not overly feminine and overly passive and flowy and indecisive and whatever else. So being balanced in both of those is very valuable. And we've talked about that like to the nth degree privately and then on the show.
Yeah.
A big part of that is why it was like not even a question like, oh, or any doubts or any cold feet or anything like that getting married. It was because I'm progressing further. This is like where we go. This is how we do it together. The masculine and the feminine, and the husband and the wife. This is alchemy. And alchemy is written into the very creation of the earth, but it's where the consciousness and the spirit that is aware interacts with and then elevates and like makes either corrections or what do they call that? Exalts creation. And that's coming from like the divine part of it. So getting a little Rob Schneidery, but it's very important, but it's also joyful and has a sense of satisfaction to me that I found such a good partner for that. Yeah. Alexa. Yeah. Even like, things like that we didn't intentionally plan to do, like, oh, we're doing like this soul work and this like putting good energy into the world and helping shift the scale from evil to good and pure on that day. But it happens because we're showing up and we're responding to our heart and we're saying yes.
Well, I think just on that, I think that's why I don't enjoy saying this word, because it's been so bastardized, unfortunately, in the spiritual communities. But the union of man and woman, that's why it is so incredibly powerful, because I think that, and I think, you know, we had Dottie, who we've had on this show, a dear friend of ours. She facilitated a lot of the ceremony. And I think she mentioned this about two becoming one. And, you know, when we talk about this concept of oneness, which I know you have a bit of pushback on, you know, for good reason, because, you know, we were just talking again the other day about that. It's both and. There is oneness where we're all connected and, you know, we hear a lot, we're all one, quote unquote. But we're also all individuals, and those two truths exist at the same time. But I think the union of man and woman, when you come together in a relationship, is such a beautiful representation of that. The two individuals coming together, and then what gets formed is the oneness of the two of you that almost becomes like its own entity.
The Trinity.
And then, I think there's something to that as well, like with what you just said about, you know, putting love into the world and counteracting all the darkness. I think to do that through relationship and to not only cultivate the love within your relationship, but then, you know, to do the work on yourself as well within that relationship and the self-development and all that. I just think it's so much more powerful, you know, and I think there's that saying, like 2 is always stronger than 1. 3 is always stronger than 2. And I think that's collectively how we're seeing it already. Like that's how we are going to shift the frequency on the planet, is through that unity. I think it definitely begins through relationship.
Yeah. I'm just going to start using the word union a lot more. We had such a beautiful union on the day of union, on the day of our union.
Sacred union.
We're unioning.
We're unioning.
Yeah, but no, it's a fitting app description. I totally agree with what you said.
Yeah. And one last thing we're going to address, just because we were, in my post on Substack, I was like, surprise, we're married, because we really didn't announce anything beforehand, which was kind of unintentional at first. But then when we finally decided to get married, there was no big engagement. There wasn't a big, because that's what most people, like, they get engaged and they post it all over social media and they announce it. Well, we didn't, in true Alexa and Isaac fashion, we didn't, do things the traditional way. We just decided that we wanted to get married, because I think I even said this on the day, it was like, I just knew, like, I never really wanted to get married before. And even when we met, I was like, I just want to have babies. Like, we'll worry about marriage later. I wasn't like concerned about it at all. But then I think, obviously with you moving here and the way that our relationship is, I just always knew that we would. And then when I have, the last 3 years I haven't fallen pregnant, I was like, I think we need to get married. I think it's my baby's not going to come until we get married for whatever reason. But I think, again, as what I said before, making that commitment and like making those vows to each other, and that like really solidifying your union, there's something to that where I just think that baby wanted that. Our babies want that before they come in. And
they need a father in the house, and sometimes you got to like rope them in and tie them down. Otherwise, if you don't have a father in the house, then he's going to grow up to be a wigga, and he's going to have a do-rag and like he'll just be super rebellious and lazy.
Anyway, so I went off on a bit of a tangent there, but yeah, initially it was, we hadn't picked a date. Like, we decided to get married and then we wanted a date, we couldn't do it, and then we kind of left to the wayside. So we didn't really announce it, because for me, I was kind of like, well, what if we announce it now? Like, we're getting married, but we don't get married for like a year or something.
We were actually thinking like, for a moment there, we were going to be like, we'll just go to the States and do it.
Yeah. But it was all very up in the air, but then...
I don't remember why that was, but it's fine.
But then when we picked our date, it was kind of a couple of months out, and then, I don't know, I guess there was just so much preparing. It wasn't like top of mind to like announce it publicly, because obviously we told our closest friends and the people that got invited to our wedding and our family. But it was, to be honest, it was kind of nice. Like, it was nice to... I think that's partly what made it feel so intimate, especially like on the day, because like only the people closest to us knew that we were getting married. Mm-hmm. And yeah, there was something special about that. And also, I love surprises. So I was kind of like, oh my God, what a better way to announce it than to be like, surprise, we're married.
Yeah. So, love her surprises.
Yeah. So that's why we kept it a little bit secret squirrels.
Yeah. All right. So... what's this fun thing that you want to do?
Okay, so I'm going to finish this episode with something that I found on Instagram like quite a while ago, and I kept it because I was like, oh, this would be good to do, just fun to do on the podcast. And I remember saying, because it was like, funny questions to ask your husband. And I remember seeing it and thinking, well, he's not my husband, but whatever, same thing. And now I'm just like, now I can officially ask my husband these questions about me. So... we can do it both ways, but I think they are gonna be really funny. I'm curious. So Isaac has a...
do you want to do 1-to-1, or do you want to do them all and then we'll discuss?
Yeah, we can. You answer for me first, and then I can answer for you. Okay, so the first one is... so yeah, obviously Isaac has no idea of what these questions are. So if you lost me in a supermarket, where is the first place you'd look?
Oh, that's a good one. In the meat aisle.
Really?
Yeah, go there first, because you're usually picking out some kind of organic kangaroo or something.
I don't think you can get organic kangaroo, but yeah, interesting though, because I probably do spend the longest in the meat section, because I'm always like, what do I need? What do we want? Like, what can I get that's organic?
Yeah, well, it's easy to find you because it's always, how the supermarket is set up where like the fruit and veg are kind of like on the outsides of everything.
Yeah.
And then all the aisles where all the processed stuff is.
Yeah.
You tend to spend most of your time on the outside.
Totally. Well, and
you might come in for like one little thing here and there.
Yeah.
But usually along the outside track.
Yeah. And I don't even spend that much time in the produce aisle, because we get all that from the markets.
And I know obviously you start in the produce and then you end up going around to the meat and then the milk and eggs. And, yeah. I know your patterns.
So for you, straight away, where I would first look for you is the peanut butter aisle. Like, you're so obsessed with peanut butter that like you'd either be there or maybe where the cream is, because you're always picking up cream from the supermarket. That's like the one thing you always want. Okay, if we switched lives for a day, what thing would you struggle with the most?
If we switched lives... Mm-hmm. Probably anything that has to do with your calendar. and scheduling. Like probably all like the podcast stuff and then the scheduling our
Just
markets.
everything, because I schedule everything.
Yeah. Most of those, I would probably pick one or two things to keep, and everything else I'd be like.
For me, this would definitely have to be, I would struggle with actually probably the lack of like the lack of like writing things down that you have to get done. Because I just feel like if I was in your life, I just have all these things I have to do and I'd just be jumping from one thing to the next. And like there'd be no structure and no like this needs to get done first. Like the lack of prioritizing what needs to get done. And I just feel like I'd be all over the place.
Yeah. Or the other thing that would be difficult for me in your life would be not doing manual labor.
Oh, yeah.
Because I'm like, I just do it without thinking. I'll just be out all of a sudden like, oh, I got to like move this log, or I got to, dig in the dirt and bury this thing, or like, put some plants out or something outside.
Yeah.
And then you've got nails.
Yeah.
And just doing stuff with your fingers and your nails.
Yeah.
That alone, like even just cooking or making something.
I think that's
like,
why cooking is fine. I think that's why I've never enjoyed
No,
gardening.
change my answer.
What?
The most challenging thing would be the cooking.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's a method to my madness in the kitchen, whereas you're just like
with the nails. Can you imagine me trying to grab the stuff and be like, how do you like all this click, 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 click?
God, you sound like we're Freaky Fridaying.
Yeah.
I think just life, not body.
Oh, I thought we were
switching lives. Well, I guess so.
Well, that was where I went, was Freaky Friday.
Yeah, I guess so. Same.
Okay, well, that's where, yeah.
All right, next one. Back to food. If I asked you to make a 3-course meal with no help, what would you serve me? 3-course meal.
3 courses?
Yeah.
I don't even know if I know what a course is. All right, for an appetizer, I could probably do the bocconcini salad.
Oh, yeah? Okay.
The ratios would be totally fucked up, but you would have some kind of cheese with basil and tomatoes and something drizzled on top. And then I could do kangaroo. I could do like a steak.
Yeah, like
a
steak meal.
And then
with what?
3 courses. That include just entree. In America, entree is like your main meal. In Australia, entree is like an appetizer.
Yeah.
So your entree, your main, and then your dessert. Is that 3 courses?
I guess, but 3 courses can be anything. 3 courses could be appetizer. Oh, what's it called? Like a salad appetizer. Like, yeah. 3 courses is just like 3 separate.
Some kind of salad thing in the front. Meat, probably green beans. Do my special like garlic butter saute green beans.
Your special butter saute thing?
I'm good. I'm good at it. I caramelize the minced garlic and butter. And
okay.
It's really good.
What would be your 3rd course for me?
And if it was dessert,
By the
I
way,
could probably make a banana bread with like a cream cheese frosting. I've done that before.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. I love that your answer was not about what I would enjoy. It was just like, what could you actually do?
What can I actually make?
With no help.
I think you'd enjoy it though.
Yeah.
Cream cheese frosting on a banana bread at the end.
Maybe one day. Maybe we'll do that on our 1-year anniversary. I'll let you cook me a meal.
Yeah. I might surprise you. Every now and then if I follow a recipe because I have a good, I do have a good like instinct. Like if something comes up, like I made a stir fry one time and I think I added something on ad-libbing into it and it was amazing. And that was the only time I ever made that the right way.
Yeah, a lot of the time Isaac ad-libs and just puts things that don't go together and like everyone's just like, what
I've got an
is
eggs
that?
recipe now that I think is very innovative and probably the best innovation to scrambled eggs since France.
Okay, babe.
Since
I'm not even gonna...
nation of France lost their world empire.
Well, I'm not even going to answer that because, like, I cook for you all the time, and I could actually wait. Let me answer
anything
it to
and
what
everything
you
would be the answer. For
okay,
you.
Okay, so now I will answer this for like what I would make you 3-course meal. What I would serve you that I know, like your favorites. Definitely the Mexican corn salsa that I do for you. You love that. Anything Mexican. Actually, anything Mexican I'd make you. But definitely the corn salsa with chicken that I do. Oh, God, there's so many. I feel like you love every meal that I make for you. Oh, what else? There's so many that you love. I actually don't know now because I'm like, what do you love the most? And I feel like you may be sick of them because I just do make the same things on rotation pretty much.
No.
No? Actually, probably, yeah. Actually, I'd make you, okay, so as in like an appetizer, I'd probably do like the raw chicken ceviche that I do because I haven't done that in a while and you love that and I love that. So that'd be like the appetizer. And then the entree or main, whatever, I do the Mexican corn salsa with chicken. And dessert, if I had to, desserts aren't my forte. I'd make you, what do you love? Oh, I know what I'd make you. A Boston cream pie.
Yeah. It's my favorite pie.
Oh, we were playing some game once and like you had to guess like what the person's favorite thing would be out of a list of like multiple choice. And one of them was Boston cream pie and we didn't even know what that was. And so I guessed something else and he was like, no, Boston cream pie. And me and my mum were just like, what even is that? Like, you're not even from the East Coast and like what, like, how is that your favorite? Anyway, so there's just like an inside joke about that.
Yeah.
No, I wouldn't make
pretty good.
Boston cream pie. I don't know what I'd make for dessert. Anyway, let's move on. Okay. What's my most unnecessary item that I treat like it's gold?
Most unnecessary item.
Oh, I feel like there's a lot.
That you treat like it's gold. Unnecessary. Just like looking at your desk, like, what do you... That's a difficult one. What's your most unnecessary item that you treat
what's
like gold?
what's an item that like I ascribe a lot of value to that you don't, that you're just like, oh, like who cares?
It's tricky. That's tricky. I don't know. Your puzzles?
I don't treat them like they're gold though, I don't think.
Probably some clothing item that's like was cheap or you got it at an op shop that like if you got a stain on it or something you'd freak out about. I don't know.
No, not really. I don't know. That's actually kind of hard for you too.
It's a really hard question.
My most unnecessary item that I treat like it's gold.
I'm trying to get anything in the kitchen.
I feel like, yeah, for you, I feel like it's like, oh yeah, for you, 100% like things out in the garden or like things that where I'm just like, what's this like empty bucket? Like, can I throw it? And you're like, no, I need that and I'm like, but it's sitting
Don't throw out
here.
my bucket of dirt.
Yeah, and I'm like, it's sitting here. It's been sitting here for months. You haven't used it. Like, can I just throw it? And you're like, no, I need that. It's like all the things outside that are just laying around that are just, to me, are so unnecessary that you like will not let go of. Yeah, I don't know if I have anything like that. I feel like there's a lot for me. Maybe not items, but I feel like I do a lot of things
that I would throw out and get a new one, like the laundry drying rack that I've literally duct taped together. I'm like, let's get a new one. Like, no, it's good.
It's the best. Okay, can I just say it's the best, like, style design of. I don't like the clothes horses. Like, you're very limited in like how you can hang things and whatever, and they take up way more mileage, not mileage, but like take up way more space than
square
this.
meterage.
And this is from Aldi and Aldi special buys. Anyone knows that Aldi special buys, you can't get them all the time. So I can't get a new one until they're on special again.
Found it. See? Told you.
All right, next one. What's one thing I do that terrifies you, but you'll never admit it out loud?
Terrifies me. I don't scare easily. I don't know. Terrifies me.
I feel like it's just like going out with like thongs on and you're like, be careful of snakes. Like if we've seen snakes, you're always like super on me about it. And I'm like, it's fine.
Well, yeah. Well, when there was the brown snake that was just circling and circling and circling, I felt like I was like, I should actually just follow you with a big stick just in case there's something on the path. And you're just like, nah, it's fine. Just like skipping through the field.
Yeah, I'm not like, when they're around, I'm aware that they're around, but I'm not scared of them. I'm not like, I'm just like,
I just don't know how they
aware.
I'm still getting used to like how they behave. Because the way it sounds when you look at anything on the internet, they're like, oh, they chase you, they fucking attack you, they come out from the
but
porch
it's
and like,
only if they feel threatened. Like they're not just always.
I know,
like
but I don't know snake psychology. I don't know what they consider a threat. You could sneeze and they'd be like, threat, oh, you're trying to kill me, and then go at you. I don't know. But now that I've interacted with them a little bit, like as long as you're not throwing shit at them, like they're cool.
Yeah.
For the most part. I still wouldn't like turn my back on it because they're quiet and they don't see very well. So if you end up accidentally stepping on them, and banging shit on the ground actually doesn't scare them away. Like they don't care.
No,
in fact, it might actually just piss them off and make them come at you.
No, I don't think so. It doesn't scare them away, but it's just so that they feel the vibrations, whatever in the ground. It's like they like.
Yeah, but they don't care. They actually go towards the vibration.
Around. I don't
like
think
a
so.
vibrating pump. They always go to the pump houses because they can feel the vibrations and they go towards it. That's why they set their nest up down there by the water pump.
I don't know.
And that's all we got.
That's the last question. Yeah.
What do I do that terrifies you?
There's actually a lot. Yeah, there's actually a lot. But like, I don't think they're things that you actually do, but it's either things that you've done or like I know you would do. Where I'm like, oh man, I don't know about that. Like
me talking about nighttime jumping from a plane to get into,
things like that, yeah,
to
and
infiltrate a country undetected.
Yeah,
for no reason.
things that you said, like I
like,
can't.
oh yeah, I would do that. I would freaking.
I can't even remember exactly what it was now. But we were talking recently, and I think like with my mom and like with my family, and you were like. Something about like, yeah, and we should just go do this. And like, you know, if we just got like a bunch of men together and did this to like, it was something about like protecting or like going out, whatever. And I literally said to you, I was like, yes, but remember now, like we're going to get married and we're going to have kids and like, you're not going out to do things like that. I can't remember what it was now, but things like that where you're just like, yeah, let's go fight and like, let's go do things like that terrifies me.
Sometimes I'll say something that not fight, but I'm just like, I don't know. Like when I see men being like scattered so easily for like just show like the Muslims in Sydney that were protesting, not Netanyahu, but whoever else is in the government that visited, and they weren't doing anything violent. They were just outside, like Muslims were just outside praying in the streets and like as like a silent or a peaceful protest. And the police came in super aggro, picking them up, throwing them, like pushing people that were just peacefully out there praying.
Yeah.
I was like, motherfucker. Just like, I would flank. I would set up a team of guys that would flank them and just like, I don't know, pee on them or something. Like, just do something. I'm just like, I just don't like seeing people being mistreated, especially when it's like from such a weak position. Because I really do view like the whole police force here, in general, the defense system of Australia is really like, compared to living in the States, like, Bubba down the road with his own little private stash of like small arms is way more efficiently trained or better trained and more well armed than like most of your police forces. Like, it's insane. I'm just like, and the way they walk around as if.
What do you mean? They've got like they're armed and stuff. What do you mean? I don't get what you're saying.
But the average like dude that's got a private collection in the States, that like way more, way better armed. But it's not about that either. But I'm just like. The way that they act as if what they're doing will never come back to them. Like this is like a Muslim population in your country. You start abusing them. Like they come from countries that are like war torn, like very violent. Some of these people, I have a feeling if they come from Lebanon, they probably grew up making claymore mines in their freaking backyard. Like I know people from there that did that. It's like, they're very different. So you don't just go and abuse them in the street. Not only that, but do that on behalf of a country that's actively doing a genocide. It's like, it really riles me up and gets me angry. But I'm willing to set aside the direct action for, just peacefully backing up and then also calling in the spiritual realm to set things right.
Totally. And that's the thing. And I think that's what I don't think you'd ever act on those things, but when you talk about it sometimes, I'm just like, yeah, it doesn't terrify me because I'm like, oh, you don't know what you're doing or whatever.
You just don't want to be involved in something that's like.
Well, and also,
and then everyone's also like hiding their phones, being
and
like,
also,
no, don't listen to that. He's not serious.
Well, because you also just never know what could happen in that situation, and it's like, to me, it's the same idea of like your husband going to war, like literally going out to a war, and like you don't, like they could quite possibly die. They may not. You just don't know. Yeah. Anyway, we've gone off on such a tangent, but I thought those questions were kind of
good.
funny.
And it's good to like. I tell people all the time, like men do need to listen to their wives, and it's important if you're not married yet to find a wife that you want to listen to, that when they might buzzkill you sometimes. They might, okay, don't go out and start an insurgency against like your local principalities. That's fine. That's fair. I want a woman that will restrain that and tell me, you know what? let's focus on the family. Let's focus on building our business. Let's focus on being able to travel between countries without having to go do night airborne operations. So I'm very grateful for you.
And I'm glad, babe. And you can always train to do those things. Like, I know that you just love that. So obviously, like, you're military. Like, you love that stuff. Like, you love, whenever Isaac has a chance to watch a movie without me, it's like 9 times out of 10, it's some military war movie or something, like, always.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, good, you watch those movies without me, because I can't stand, I don't think I've ever seen, like, all of those, like, most popular war movies. I've never seen any of them. Just not into it at all. But if you want to train for that stuff, you can absolutely go get your men's group together and do it all. But when it, like, push comes to shove, I don't know. I just don't think that's a way to solve the problem. I mean, we know that that's not the way to solve problems
until it is. And when it is, you need people that are like super, like, disproportionately confident in their ability to accomplish the task.
I think it's a lot more powerful to, like, do things in the spirit. I mean, obviously you can do things in the physical to back it up, but I just think, I mean, and you can see that now, like, war isn't what it used to be, because we're in a spiritual war. And once you understand that, like, that's why, I mean, I know they're calling the whole Iranian, whatever's happening over there, like World War III. Everyone's like, World War III. And it's like, they don't really do things like that anymore. Like, it's all a distraction.
Yeah. Well, and really, the whole idea of World War III, yada, yada, it's like we've been in World War III, I think, especially since the reign of the terror. I mean, when I say terror, like, real terror attacks happen, obviously. But it's brought to you by the USA and Israel, basically, and Iran.
Yeah.
You know, they do sponsor some shenanigans.
Yeah.
But the shenanigans have been going on a global scale for a long time, and I view that as a world war. And then you have the quiet war, you know, the quiet weapons for quiet wars stuff that's been going on against the people. That's the more important one. And it's all voluntary. And if you're not aware of it, you're, like, able to be victimized of it. If you are aware of it, you just choose not to eat the crap that they try to get you to eat. You know, be aware of what the propaganda is doing.
Yeah.
But we've been in, like, a continuous state of war for decades, and you know,
it's another conversation for another time. We've really gone off on a tangent here.
We have, and we're over time.
Yeah, but
don't be afraid.
We did say we've kept it under an hour, and we did say, we're like, let's just make it a 20-minute episode. And I was like, we'll probably just end up. We said that we were going to do 45-minute to an hour episodes, and we always do an hour, usually more. So we've kept it under an hour. That's short for us.
Yep. Yeah, and you know, just embrace the ones that you love. Know that you have more power than we probably are aware of, and look in that direction. Move in that direction. Like, take action in that direction, not grasping at the old tools. You know, like, we're not going to settle this with guns and this and that. That's kind of, the satanic realm loves that stuff. And we're playing smart. We're playing the long term. And what we talked about now, the things that you don't see are more important than the things that you do see. The intangibles are more important than the tangibles. So if we actually act like that's real, and incidentally, that's something that Jesus said that I thought was interesting, that people have wondered about, but whether or not you believe in Jesus or whether he was real or not, that statement is very, very true. And I think if you search that out, you'll see, like, we spent a lot of time talking about that. So consider it.
All right. Well, signing off for the first time as Mr. and Mrs.
Thanks again, folks, for watching Natural AF. I'm Isaac with my lovely wife here, Alexa, and we'll catch you next time.
See ya. Thanks for tuning in to the Natural AF podcast, where we explore holistic healing modalities, mindsets, and methods that reconnect us to nature and our natural state of being.
If something resonated, share this episode and see the show notes for our guest links, as well as all of our discount codes for our aligned affiliates and Natural Art Form, where we handcraft a range of organic, natural remedies to help support your body's natural healing abilities and help support the show.
If you're listening on Spotify or Apple Podcasts, please take a few seconds to leave us a rating and review. And if you're watching on Rumble or YouTube, hit the like button and drop us a comment, and be sure to subscribe to our channel for the latest updates.
We're not here to conform, we're here to remember what's real. So step into your power, be curious, and be natural AF.